Good morning, everyone, especially to our very special guest this morning, Mrs. Mary Fair B. Valencia, a Bachelor in Elementary Education graduate. And before anything else, in behalf to my group mates, we would like to say thank you so much, Mrs. Valencia, for sharing or giving your time with us. I know you are a very busy person, but still you accept wholeheartedly our favor, and it means so much for us. Anyways, before we get to start our interview, let's introduce ourselves first. Let me begin. I am Regime Humawas Logroño, and I am currently living in Bangbang, Cordova, Cebu. How about you, Tracy?
So, good morning, Mrs. Valencia. I am Tracy Leah P. Mariano, currently living in Tinugdan, San Fernando, Cebu.
Good morning, ma'am. I'm Cheryl Mingoy and I am currently living in Yapo, Ilian City.
Okay. And Mrs. Valencia, would you mind if you tell us something about yourself?
Good morning, dear teachers. Thank you also for inviting me as one of your uh, speaker for today. Speaker, this is my first time interview. By the way, I'm Refer Valencia. I'm a teacher at Hula Elementary School. I'm a BEd graduate, Bachelor of Elementary Education. My alma mater is Cebu Normal University, um, Agals. Um, this is my 4 years in public schools. I experienced 8 years teaching in a private school. That's all.
Wow, thank you, Mom. We're glad to know something about you. And now let's begin the interview. Let me give this mic or speaker to Miss Tracy Mariano to give the first question.
So, my first question is, what do you think is one of the greatest difficulties that your children or students is facing right now that we still experiencing the pandemic? Again, what do you think is one of the greatest difficulties that your children or student is facing right now that we still experiencing the pandemic?
Okay, thank you, Ma'am Mariano, for that question. At this time of pandemic, there are a lot of difficulties that children had encountered. But in my own opinion, the greatest difficulties that children had faced during this pandemic is they find difficulties in their learning due to modalities, for these new modalities that had offered to them. So they need to follow they need to follow this new way of learning since it's pandemic, and they don't have any choice for that, no? So there was a big or wide adjustment for them, especially the way they learn through online class or modules, their learning environment, and how they will communicate their teachers also, because they cannot see their teacher because it's pandemic, diba? So it's very difficult for that. I think this will be the greatest difficulty we have encountered in this pandemic.
My second question is, what was one of your most challenging days as a teacher and what did you learn from it? What was one of your most challenging days as a teacher and what did you learn from it?
Um, I've been teaching for 12 years, so there are a lot of challenging days that I had encountered. But for me, the most challenging days as a teacher is this at this present days. It's the pandemic times, since we knew it is so risky to report in the school But then, as a teacher, we don't have choice, and it is our duty. And even if, for me, even if it's not my duty, since I really love teaching, so I need to dedicate myself, like concern not only is our health, but then I tried and I continue to do my duty. So it is in my heart really to reach out my pupils in a different way, no? Kanang isang dili mi magkita, but I need to do my best for them to reach for them even dili mi magkita ay so through na lang sa call or video call, no? So in these challenging times, I learned to be very more flexible in any situation. I learned more to be patient, and also I able to learn how to embrace every moment of my career to be more innovative in through finding ways in every problem that I encounter or my pupil encountering during this learning way. So I need to make or find ways how to improve my strategies in learning, no? Bisag pag module ra, yung sa module ra madawat ra sa bata, but I need to find ways uh, to reach out from them. So dira ana na jud na magkuha ng kanang halan jud kong always na load akong cellphone kay kanang I don't know kay uban akong mga co-workmate, uh, they were not able to reach out through video call or kanang call, pero sa ako adjud kanang mag-uul jud ko ang days na din ako masurya ang bata. So mukuan jud og time na ako sila matok, no? Kay uban gyud wala jud cellphone, so nalipog ko unsaon ako pag-communicate. Eh lagi iPad ra ilahang use. Pero out of 100%, so maybe kanang out of my student last year is 39, so out of 39 siguro duha ra tingali ang walay jud kanang Android ba, so dili na kaayo kay college kay duha ra man, so at least ang uban ma-video call makita jud ko nila kay monitor jud nako sila. So mao na ang sa panisya kanang mga challenging kaayo nga karon nga pandemic, so find ways jud to ma-reach out na ko sila. That's all. Lagyan pa kayo ma-share pero taas na. Thank you for that question.
Next question is how do you approach helping a reluctant learner achieve academic success? How do you approach helping a reluctant learner achieve academic success?
For me, how will I help the internal learner to achieve their academic success? So, as a teacher, I help a internal learner achieve academic success. I should be enthusiastic to my work, meaning I should be active in any way since my learning modalities is blended, module ra, so I should be active enough to my parents in the distribution, ikakuha sa mga modules o ika-uli. So kung diri po ka sa online, dapat enthusiastic yun ka mo entertain sa imong pupils, no? Mangita kag ways na di sila maboard kay di ba lalim mong katubang rag what is that, the laptop or cell phone, no? Yeah. Ang teacher ana, so ana siguro kanang sus daghan jud na for like me kay kindergarten man ko. Kung kindergarten yung pupil sa online, so di jud mahugtan si teacher og mga rhyming songs, no? Kay kabaw ka nasa balay daghan og disturbance. Dapat di mahugtan og mga rhyming songs na para ang bata madali or gani ang background ni teacher ana sa online colorful kaayo para ang matas bata naragyud nimo, no? Ana na siya, then pa man and I should find ways to communicate the pupils and also through calls or video call to monitor their learning performance, for them to be motivated in every day and to uh, make the learning actively. No? So ako, module man, di man ko kabaw kung kinsay bata nga ato inguno kanang napapadlong baron or na unsa din ha. So, ano lang siya ko, manawag. Pero sometimes kung na ako nakita bata, like, ang mama mo good ko mostly, ang mo report na ako, kay module man no. So, ang mama mo report ako, teacher, si Kuan, kay wala pa kayo, di pa kayo siyang musulat teacher, bakit pa yung agi. Mo na nga, kuan na lang ko, kanang daily na ko siya tawagan. Daily na ko tawagan ang bata. Teacher, si Kuan, kay magpabadlong, so ako gina siya tawagan, kay chacharan doon mo ka ng ang bata istorya nga minaw ma kay syempre ang bata no minaw mo sa teacher mo nang manak mo tawag din na ang parent ako nga teacher tawagin si Kuan so ako din ang kanan bisag busy ko mga module friends sorting ako din find ways yung ko nga nakik-talk sa bata so inana ka lahi man sa classroom kung classroom ka mo lagi to kanang dapat kuhaon nimo kang attention sa bata ang mastery sa imong lessons kay para anha ra gyud siya nimo badi sila dili makuha yung attention sa lain pa nga butang mo na siya.
Question is, how do you respond to classroom behavioral issues? How do you respond to classroom behavioral issues?
If one of my during my face-to-face class, I respond behavior issues through manners. So I had my classroom rules. I mean that my pupils need to follow. Na ginapasabton gid mo sila sa rules para matatak sila ulo na maod siya na ang buhaton within the classroom. If one of my pupils is not listening, so mostly I just tap their shoulder. If ever I'm in a discussion, in my discussion, ako na silang ano siya itap ang ilang shoulder. I slowly go to them and tap them. So no need to shout or no need to call their names because kay maulaw naman na sila. Maulaw, no? Ug murag dili pod kuan nga kanang silang ato silang tawag by names ba. Makuan man lang attention na nang manok sila man so mas better kung imo ra duolong itap mo sila o kasabot na sila nga na sila yung what something na. Then if one is not in the mood, they able to break the classroom room. So I just talk to them silently. So kayong ko. And I was, my first day here in the public, mostly medyo public to kay medyo kayong bata. Lisod yung pag-control nila. So, ano lang yun I just call them, I just tell them to slowly go to their area. Then ako silang can you pwede ka nang before ta manguli pabilin sa kakadiyot ha no ano mo teacher wala lang pabilin lang then after sa class din ako after sa cleaning mabilin ako sila yun isa-isa ho na ko silang ang at if tulo sila ang duha ato sa sigawas ang isa pabilin sa room then ako i-talk siya kung asa siya na sayo kaya gano'n pabilin ako siya sa room. After mo to nga, bilhin ako sa bon. Then other one na po, so ang bilhin sa gawas, usan na lang, kaya po sila. Then so mo ko isa. Kung mo to kung kuan ko first na ko nga kuan diri sa public grade 5 pupils. So dili na jud na maulaw na ba na sila ang imong kasapan, mo kanon so nana ako mong sa diri sa una. Ako na si pabilin o makitok ako nila silently. Mura din na siya. sa karong kinder, kay first time man ako nag-kindergarten diri kay daghan ang population. So wala pa ako sa kinder, pero sa kindergarten ana less good ang pag-call sa names. Ana rin siya tap ka siguro, tap the shoulder or mas better gani hug them, pasabot rin tingin na sila nga ano si teacher ko ano. Pero muna mostly akong buhaton sa ako mga student. Mm.
My last quest my last question is, describe your role as an educator in the classroom and your preschool teaching philosophy. Describe your role as an educator in the classroom and your preschool teaching philosophy.
Okay, teaching philosophy kanang as a teacher, we should be able to view and analyze from the respective of our students, diba? So there are a lot of we need to 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 embrace the philosophies para sa atong mga estudyante. But in my own, kung nananadyo ka sa field, yes, magamit to nimo ang mga philosophy nga imong nakatunan. Pero sa ako, kanang the best yun nga strategy or na atong magamit kay ato rin ko galingon. Yung magamit mo to na to, magamit mo na to tanan, mga unsa gito siya, philosophy, mga essentialism, no, mga no, behaviorism, unsa na to pagkuan lahang behavior, o na yung muna siya, magamit man dito na to tanan, pero sa ako, above all, magamit nato, pero the best view nato magamit is ato yung self, atong pagalingon. Ourselves is enough to secure our teaching for the best of our pupils. Kay ito man jud kita man ang nadi sa tubangan, magamit to nato pero ang priority jud ang ato yung self. Unsaon nato sa palapagdala nga madana to sila sa world of kanang teaching at teaching not just the academic but holistic tanan na jud na kanang makatong sila dili ra jud makatong na sila sa libro. No, not just in the book but also in the manners, in 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 uh, how to be with others, unsaon na pa sa ilang mga kauban, dili lang yan sa libro ra jud. So above all those philosophy, as mangibabaw jud ang ato pagkamaestra. That's all, teachers. Ako na istorya.
Hi, ma'am. These are my first one is, we're just curious, ma'am. Why did you decide to become a teacher?
Why should I decide to be a teacher? How why I decided to be a teacher? By the way, when I was a kid, it is really my dream to be a teacher. Kaya pag bata pa na ako, mao dyan na akong dula-dula kanang teacher ta akong teacher. Mao dyan na ako. Then mas na mas na mas na 100% na jud ko sure na mag-teacher na jud ko kay I was in my high school. So I was trained by my parents to teach gani kanang Kids for Christ. Diba naman ay Couples for Christ? Wala po na Kids for Christ. Then so, ang parent na ko, katong mate sa akong parent nga couples po. So, ako man ang one of the eldest in the group of kids. So they choose me as one of the leader to teach the children, the Kids for Christ. So, adto na ko nakitang after atong kuha na ko facilitator sa Kids for Christ, kay magtudlo mga bata, like Bible sharing, Bible stories. Ato na ko mas-approve na kuan jud ko kanang sa kanang siya kanang adto jud ko sa linya sa pagamaestra, no? So adto ko na develop maayo o na push through jud ako vision kay pagkabata. Gusto mo ko isa. So, ato gid na ako ang diri ko kay sa kansa. Yeah. After pa jud sa Kiss for Christ, um, nalinya po ko, nakuha po ko as uh, sa nakatikis sa Flores de Mayo. So, ano na kita ba? Ang bata, nila until na nag-facilitator until high school going to college. Nakuha na po ko katikis. So, ato na ko nakita sa film work. Ato mo diri jud akong path, diri jud akong dalan nga mahimo jud maestra. Sa moto, gi-pursue din ako. Teacher jud akong gikuha.
And my second question ma'am is, how will you manage your challenges and pressure at work?
How will I manage challenges in the classroom?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so during my face-to-face class, I respond classroom, number na siya? Classroom behavior? Okay, classroom behavior is through manners. So, dapat siya dira, classroom rules, what is the classroom rules you should follow. Okay, if you will not follow, so there will be consequence para to sure, to make it sure na ang pupils ma-identify yun niya nga which is correct and which is right. No? So kani magud kung kabata what is correct and what is right. So ato siya na makita na ang behavior di ang main focus ani no sa isa ka bata. So paano my pupils manotice and siya mo na siya kanang find ways ko na para makuha na ko ilang attention. Then sa paman mo ba na siya imong pangutana or how what so gito what can you please
Kuan siya ma'am, how will you manage challenges and pressure at work?
how will you I cannot hear it well, can you please louder?
How will you manage challenges and pressure at work, ma'am?
At work, so pressure at work. I'm sorry, wrong ko. Nadasayop ako ka ng interpret. Okay, so how will I pressure challenges in the classroom or in my work? So I manage challenges and pressure at work. So maybe mostly through time management. Hapit na ko na lobat through management. Then I should take note of work that should be done in a day. So I should schedule or note plan for it so that kanang dili kay ko ma-pressure sa akong mga bulhaton. So I should handle my stress. Dili ko kanang palabi kay mo na makakuha na to ano kanang ma-anger ta, dili ta makalagot kay stress kay ta. So ano siya, schedule time to respond sa mga works diri sa school, no? Yeah, then establish realistic goals. So meaning kanang naagib kay mga plano nga kanang written na note na daan kay para dili na ka sayon na nimo pag-adjust ba. O kay na guide naman ka sa note ni imong na inaan sa imuha, no? Na then focus on and control your emotions, labi na kung nabitaw mampas na ganit ang mga forms, no? Taranta na ta, so dili ta dapat magpakuha na, relax lang good, makaya ra na ana. Naara ba tay mga daghang kauban, pwede ra kaayo na mag kuanta tabang ka sa isa-isa, no? Kamo mga kauban diri, so ana siya. Then agad kanang prioritize po ang imuhang kanang working schedule a day. Asa na ka? Mao na siya para dili kay ka ma-pressure. Dili kay ka ma-pressure sa imong mga trabaho sa mga eskwelahan. The best of themselves. So when we teach with the heart, all aspects of your pupils will surely be touched, and this makes them the best version of a person they will be someday. And this will also make us proud, no? Or mauni atong award as a teacher. So as a teacher, not only we will not just teach the lesson, but the wholeness of a human. So always remember, teacher, Don't that don't just teach academically but also holistically. So mo ning ingon kabuuan, dapat turuan ang bata ang kanilang kabuuan na pagkatao, ang ating dapat iisip natin ang kabuuan ng kanilang pagkatao. So minumulda natin sila hindi lang sa kanilang katilinuhan, kundi pati ang kanilang buong sarili. So wholeness of themselves. And that's all. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, ma'am. All right, I think this ends our interview with Mrs. Valencia. It was indeed a great experience speaking with you, ma'am. And again, thank you for giving us this opportunity. Before we end this call, as part of the group plan, ma'am, we are sending you a simple token. This is just a simple gestures of ours to